I'm Shreya Sharan Pawar here from the Womenpreneur Academy, and today I'm doing a amazing live session with a guest that you are going to fall in love with. I'm going to be bringing on Dia Asrani. She's a personal branding expert, and we are going to talk about how to build a brand for your business. And there are a lot of things that we are going to be covering. So, whenever you have a question about branding, she's the go to person for that. And just use this opportunity to ask her your questions. I'm going to put her on right now. Let's have Dia on. Hi, Dia.
Hi,
Welcome to the session.
thank you. Thank you for having me on board and thank you for inviting me for this. It's really amazing to talk about my favorite topic, personal branding, and very, very excited to, answer all the questions and whatever is yet to come now for this. I'm really, really looking forward to having fun over here. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So let's just dive in. What really is personal branding?
See, actually, there have been a lot of combinations and definitions of, what exactly personal branding is. But to cut it short, like from whatever I have done in terms of my research, in terms of how I want to see things and all that, I realized that it's beyond just showing a brand, like through a logo or through a website or through a landing page or through, because that anyone and everybody today can do it. If you
Okay.
have access to the internet, you can do anything to actually build a website, logo, or a landing page. But when I look at personal branding, I look at the persona, I look at the charisma, I look at, more than just saying that, okay, I'm going to show up on online and I'm going to build a presence. Because online presence, everybody was building. But today, personal branding is much more stronger because when you have a personal brand, people will actually look at you as the authority in your field. Instead of, just saying that you're just another marketer or you're just another coach and you're just another, so on and so forth. So I just feel personal branding in simple words is who you are as a person and your personality
Okay.
mixed with, what you want to do and how you want to help people. But what really makes you stand out from the other competitors or the people who are in your industry, your brand can actually speak loud about that. So that's what personal branding really is. I would say personality, charisma, everything more than just calling yourself that, okay, I have a logo and a website ready, so that's about it. So that's what personal branding for me is, the whole idea of expression.
So, Dia, how did you get into this whole space of personal branding? Can we know a little bit about your background and your journey with personal branding?
Yeah, sure. So actually, you know what? When I first, I mean, of course, it was a little erratic, the whole the idea of getting into personal branding. But when I left design school in 2011, right, I was told I was not good enough. I was told that I'm not cut out for design and everything. So I always used to think that I'm not good at designing. Okay. So I took up another course which is called image consulting. And that time it was very, very new in the industry. Nobody really knew what image consulting was. So somebody even asked me, Dia, you're a graphic designer. You design images. And I was like, I was like, okay, no, not really. Well, yeah, I mean, that's not the thing. And that's when, I got into this whole field of image consulting and I realized that, okay, this is something I can tap into, right? So I became a trainer coach there. I started coaching people, training people in image and soft skills and all that. And I started liking this whole thing of personal development,
Okay.
and how personal development is directly related to business growth. So I said, okay, I myself don't have any business background, but let's just see how this can actually be, put into, perspective that way, right? So, I mean, fast forward to maybe about 2018, 2019, I realized that one of the key things that I have not done, and the reason why I was not really flourishing as a trainer coach for a very long time, though people knew me, was because I didn't have a brand. Because back in 2014, when I was looking for jobs and I was looking for opportunities, I had a couple of HRs of various companies. I mean, these are two, three companies which I went to, and they just told me one thing: Dia, you don't have a well-known brand. You might be good at what you do, but you don't have a well-known brand. And I was, of course, very raw in that I didn't know what was happening, all that. But then I just said, okay, maybe this is not for me. I looked at that, and then in 2008 and 2019, I realized that, okay, this is what I really need to work on. It's the brand. And that's the reason why many entrepreneurs, experts, trainers, coaches are not able to really stand out, even though they're very good at what they do. So that's when I came into this whole thing and say, okay, I need to first rebrand myself. I need to start, looking at it from a different perspective. So I went from scratch. 2018, 2019 is when I started absolutely from scratch, from ground zero. And then that's when, this whole thing of, okay, I can do things in branding. It doesn't have to only be about logo and website. It can be much more than that. And when I start seeing opportunities and clients coming my way organically, without any Facebook ads, nothing, that's when I realized this is definitely something I need to teach people. So yeah, that's how the whole personal branding journey started. Long story short, of course, there's a lot more to share, but I don't want to go on about it because then it'll just take very long.
Sounds great. I think you've had quite an experience, quite a journey to bring you up to this point. And
Yeah.
so branding, okay, so a lot of businesses, you are right, they ignore this whole aspect of branding.
Hmm.
What is your thought about, like, really, why is it so important to have a brand? Why not just, okay, you've decided you want to sell something, you've decided that you want to have a certain offer a certain sort of a service, uh, but why this entire focus on building a brand around it?
See, I have this one, it's a perspective, of course. I mean, of course, there are a lot of people who would say, no, I beg to differ. But one of the things which I have realized is whether you are in a B2B or a B2C,
Hmm,
okay, the end result should be it's a human to human connection. Because in the end, even if I'm interacting with your product, I want to know who's the person behind it.
true.
Then only I can associate with that person and I can understand, okay, I can talk to this person and I can understand the reason why. Now, this could be very different from, say product lines, like, if suppose somebody is making manufacturing soaps or maybe doing a wholesale thing or whatever, maybe it's a little different ball game altogether. But I still feel that every single business, forget business, any single entrepreneur, solopreneur, trainer, coach needs to first develop a brand. Why? Because that human to human connect is the first thing people notice. It's not, they might like your product and service. They might think that, you're really good at what you do. You might be one of the leading experts in whatever you're doing. But in the end, if your brand is not strong, how will people trust you?
Absolutely.
And that's when the connection comes in. That's when the connection comes. And people say, see, they don't want to say that I have a course, just buy this array of products and get done with it. They want to actually connect with you. They actually want to have a lot to do with, how I can actually associate with Shreya, how can I associate with Dia. Like, they have that whole thing of, okay, I need to connect to this person. That's their person behind the brand. So that's why I feel it's so important to have that, strong positioning, strong branding, so that, people start connecting with you on a deeper level.
So there was a question that we had got on Instagram, and I wanted to put that question up to you. Uh, I understand where branding is concerned, it's much more easy to do for
Right.
like, say, for where you're delivering a service, where you are the face of the brand. What about product based businesses?
So see, I mean, again, when it comes to product-based businesses, today I have seen a lot of people who are having home businesses, and they have products on Instagram. They're selling on Instagram. They have an e-commerce platform. They have everything going on.
Yeah,
But there's somewhere I feel that the connection is not there. That's maybe why that people are not buying that particular product. Now your marketing might be very good. You might be running Facebook ads. And I even ask this to many people. Okay, chalo, you're opening a product. You start a product line. Okay. You don't have any Facebook page, no Instagram page, nothing to prove or to show who you really are. Okay.
true,
Then you start running Facebook ads. Your Facebook ads are connected to your page, which invariably will be connected to your Instagram handle.
true.
Now, if people go and they do, and people are very curious today, they're inquisitive, right? They want to
Yes,
go and click on that button and see that, okay, who is this person am I working with? Can I connect with him or her?
true.
That's when they get their answers. However good the product might be, I'm not saying that, product will be bad or whatever. No, I'm not saying that. I'm talking about, if you want to accelerate, you want to grow that particular thing to a certain level, then you need to be there as a face of the brand so that people can start saying that, okay, I can associate with this person. Why do you think people run exhibitions and, why do they do these flea markets and everything to show their products? In the end, what? We are connecting with the customer like that, right? So it's not that, okay, the stall is there, you go buy whatever and you see what happens. No.
Absolutely.
There's a reason why they're doing it, because we want to connect with the people, with the audience. Even though our target audience might be very nice, we might have people who want to buy everything that we want, that we create. But in the end, what? Where's the connection? You
Absolutely.
know.
True.
So that's the thing. I mean, an example would be, vegan products. These days, everyone's gone vegan, right? A lot of people are going vegan, gluten free, and all that. So if I want to talk to somebody, I am personally gluten intolerant. And if I want to talk to somebody to know a product, I would rather talk to the owner and connect with that owner and see if I can connect with that person and that person's value and thought process, and then buy the product. That's how, customers work today.
Yeah. Actually, so the key thing that I just kind of picked up from your conversation right now is the word value. Can we talk a
Yes.
little bit about that?
Yeah. So there's a thing called brand value, perceived brand value, right, which people have today. And when we talk about perceived brand value, a lot of people stop at understanding that my product is very qualitative. It's got green tick mark against every product and service that I have. Whether it's a service I create or the product I create, it has all the green tick marks. It's connecting to the pain points of the customer. All that is fine. But there are a lot of people doing the same thing.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people who are doing the same thing. They also want 100% quality, 100% this thing. Everything is perfect. But then when you raise the value of your brand by just being who you are, by building your personal brand, by being there in front as the face of your brand, you don't need to have somebody endorsing. You don't
True.
need to have somebody who's the face. You can be the face. Why not? That's the idea. So that's when I see that that's the raising the value, raising the bar, I would say. That, then people can charge also much more than what they're actually charging today.
True.
That's one thing which I want to change that perspective also. Say, you don't have to focus only on the market. Market is charging this much, but if your value is higher, why not? Why not charge more? That's what it is. And that's how I work. Yeah.
True. So we have a very interesting question here. I'm going to put that up on the screen. Is it possible to build a personal brand without being public or showing your face?
It is. There was a point I used to have a perspective that, no, you should show up every day online and all that. I used to have that perspective myself. But trust me, today, these days, things are so different. You have podcasting, you have, interviews which you can do with people. You don't have to always go public. Yes, of course, when you go public and you show your face, of course, the growth of rate, the chances of growth are much more higher, because again, people connect with people, and human connection is always going to be something that people, I mean, we have grown up connecting with people, right? One of our basic needs is that. So we need to connect. So the whole idea is to understand that where could you work. See, I've also spoken to a lot of people who are introverts,
Okay.
right? And what they have also told me that we can't show up in front of videos. We can't show up publicly. My family might not like it. Like various excuses, various reasons as to why you don't want to show up. So I tell them that, see, find another way. There's blogging, there's podcasting. There are ways where you can run smaller communities. You can do smaller, events at coffee shops if you don't want to go public. You can do it in a more, closer, more close-knitted way than, going public and doing things. That's just my way of looking at it, because I feel that if you want to make it happen, you will figure a way out. It doesn't have to always be one size fits all. Even when I focus on personal branding, even in my community or wherever that I talk, even when I talk about in general, people ask me that, okay, should I focus on LinkedIn or should I focus on Instagram or YouTube or whatever? And I tell them one thing, that guys, it's not about the platform. Platform will be there today, tomorrow it might die.
Yeah.
We don't know what is the future of social media today. But do you want to die with that platform? No, right? How
Like
much ever dramatic, how much ever dramatic that sounds, the truth is that only, right? You have to still thrive. You still have to go to a certain level. And only when you do that, by not focusing on a platform, you focus on your brand. That's what matters the most. So yeah, that's my
Thank you
answer.
so much
That,
for asking your question. I think that was a great,
that's a
great.
lovely question. Very
Yeah.
nice question. Yeah.
If you have other questions, you're most welcome to put them in the chat. I'll flash them up on the screen, and you can pick Dia's brain about branding. It's very difficult to come across her, so this is a great opportunity for you if you want some advice from her.
Amen.
All right. So Dia, could you please share a little bit about what steps or what can one do to create a brand that represents the business as accurately and possible?
Yeah. So see, I'll keep it very simple. One, of course, the first step that I would definitely want and recommend everyone to do is to position themselves. And how do you position yourself? You position yourself by figuring out what are the basic fundamentals of your business and your brand presence that you need to talk about, you need to focus on. Things like your story, your niche, your mission, all those different things need to really be like, it's cast in stone. It should be like that. That's how strong your fundamentals should be. Without your fundamentals being strong, your ship is going to sink for sure. That's the first thing, right? So positioning is one thing. And of course, positioning goes beyond niche and everything. Of course, there are other things that you have to also talk about, like, how do you put your message across to people? How do you, build that leadership presence in front of your crowd? How do you build your community? All that comes in, as part of it, right? Um, the other thing also, the next thing which I would like to say is, of course, to break your fears in marketing yourself, and putting yourself out there. Of course, positioning is very important, but what is also very important is awareness. How much ever we say that, yeah, I'm putting content online. I've heard many people, I put Instagram every day, I'm putting something online. I'm not getting enough of likes and followers. I'm not getting, and I'm sure Shreya, you also would have heard that many times, right? So it's just that when you change your perspective around that and you say, okay, it's not about the likes and followers, about, the fact that I'm anyway building awareness, whether 2 people, 20 people, 200, 2,000, whoever likes it. I'm building awareness in the end. So that should be your mindset towards branding, because this whole idea of building your brand and making your business really solid is comes down to the one word, which is consistency. Without consistency, you cannot build a brand. If you're going to tell me today, Dia, I'm going to join this, I'm going to read this book on how to build a brand, and then tomorrow you build a brand, and then the next day you quit, it's not going to work out, right? This is a long game. It requires you to keep working on it, right? And it also requires you to work with whatever is working for you in terms of what you want to do and what you are comfortable doing, right? So yeah, first is positioning, second, marketing and awareness. Third, I would say is, I call it amplification, because when you start amplifying with the right words you use, the communication with the right words you use in your content, it makes a huge difference, right? There's a difference between sharing, and I say this even in my webinars, there's a difference between sharing content that's valuable and sharing content that is impactful. When you actually do, when you see the difference between the two, valuable content is good, but impactful content is great. That I strongly believe in that, because when you're putting content out there, people will anyway know. See, I'll give you an example: 6 tips to be confident.
True.
Okay, and you go on Google, you'll find it. It's really available. But if
Yes.
I build an impactful one wherein I say, okay, I'm going to add my story to it and tell them that this is how I got out of it, and these are the things that come from my experience, there's a difference,
True.
right? Same with product businesses. There's a reason why you're building, say, a line of soaps. There's a reason why you're building, vegan products. There's a reason why you're going and looking at decorative items. It's not that, okay, today I have a passion, tomorrow I'm going to do it. There is a very deep reason as to why you're doing it, right? So to nail that reason, you have to amplify your brand through content. And of course, the other things are the brand systems and all that, to have a system online which will help you automate your brand eventually, right? Because when you don't automate your brand eventually, you're going to be sitting and micromanaging most of the work for the rest of your life. And you don't want to do that. You'd rather focus on scaling up and growing than, just saying that, okay, I'm going to just do whatever and I'm just going to play the small game and see what happens, right? We have to play the bigger game when it comes to personal branding for business, especially. Yeah. So,
True.
long story short, I would say positioning, awareness, and amplification. These are the three main things. Now, in that, there is much more. There is much more to do. So, in that, there are various steps. So, but then that will be like, it'll take another 2 hours for me to explain to you that. Yeah.
So, actually, it's a great point that you brought out about uh, just not having a product for the sake of the product, but for the emotional reasons, like, and sharing your personal story about why you are creating that product or the story. And because just recently in my last inner circle call for my community, there was this very the thing was a topic of discussion about people feel shy sharing their personal story.
Hmm. Yeah,
right?
that I've
What
faced in my community as well.
Yes.
Yes, many times.
What would you say to them? I mean, people don't want
See,
to. They want them. They feel they're more private, so they don't want to
hmm,
come up and share their story publicly. And the
got it.
story is very impactful. Like when you listen to the story, you're like, wow, okay, like this is great. So, what would you say to somebody who doesn't want to be very public?
So, see, I mean, I will never tell them to do something that does not go with their values. But I would say that, do something that will make a difference in someone's life, because your story can actually lead to many. See, I like when I tell, even when I tell people in the community, I tell them a very simple thing. You could be an open book, but doesn't mean that people will read all the pages. Okay, you can pick out a few parts of your story that you feel you're comfortable with. It took me so long to talk about my being, in 2017, when I was given the pink slip, from my company and all that. I was suddenly told to leave. It took me really long to come up with that story, to build that story, to actually say that, okay, that was actually what got me to do all this, and to come out of it. It took me a really long time. But when I slowly and steadily started seeing that people are getting impacted even by this one or two things you say in your story, which you are comfortable sharing at first, that's when you will only open up. So it's like, literally like a flower blooming slowly. You're just taking little longer, which is fine. You're not kind of keeping to yourself all the time. But at the same time, you're not changing who you are. You're doing whatever you can to kind of impact, because in the end, if you don't share your story, you're doing injustice to yourself and to the people around you, is what I feel. Because people want to know that, okay, have you also been through something like this? And if you have been in, I can also come out of it. If like that whole connection is there in the process. So that's what I would say. I mean, of course, I would never tell a person to change their personality and to, become an extrovert and all. I don't believe in that personally. So I feel you can be who you are, but share what you feel is right. And of course, not everybody's going to read all the pages. So remember that. Yeah.
Great, great. Thank you so much, Dia, for sharing that. And I hope those of you who are still shy about showing up, about sharing your personal life, sharing your struggles, and what the journey that you've been through, which has brought you to this point. I hope Dia's message here is giving you a little bit of motivation to just go out there and
Yeah,
impact.
I mean, more than anything else, right? I also feel that um, you're gonna find various versions. You're gonna have people who will share everything that they want to share, and then you'll have people who will share just a bit of what they need to share. Okay, and it's just what you want to do. It's in the end, it's you who wants to share the story. But as long as it impacts people, there was a point in my time when I was telling my story in the initial days of my business. I was realizing that it was not really pushing people. But the minute I added a sentence, I added something in my story, like, hey, I can actually talk about this. Let's start talking about this. That's when, people start opening up and saying, okay, when I can do the same thing. So that's how it is. Yeah.
So, Dia, Shivani has a question here, uh, which says, "I think branding is expensive. Is that really true?"
Nothing is expensive if you want to change your life. That's, I would say, it's also something to do with, your perceived, idea or notion around this whole process of branding. But, I would say that the best investment that you can do in yourself is your own branding and your own personal development, without which, if you don't know, you will never grow. You will never know how far you can go and go further in whatever you're doing. That's just my thing, because I learned it the hard way. I used to do free stuff. I used to, cut costs in my branding. I used to think that, okay, personal development's not for me. But let me tell you, this is not only for Shivani, but to everybody who's listening to this. Don't cut corners when it comes to your own development growth as a brand, because only you can help yourself in this process, right? Your
Rightly said.
coach, your mentor, any course, it's not going to help you. It's only you and your mindset. And of course, there's this thing called little voice, which I'm sure Shreya also connects with, which, our mentor Bless Singer also has spoken about many times, that, it's the little voice in your head which keeps telling you these things. Oh, is it too expensive? Or do I need to hire somebody? Is it going to be too complicated? If you make it complicated for yourself, it is going to be. If you feel it's going to be expensive for yourself in your mind, it is going to be expensive. But if you're willing to really do whatever it takes, you don't have to worry about all these things. Expensive, costs more, Need to hire, dude, you'll do whatever you want if you want to change your life. That is my one answer to you. Yeah.
Perfect. And I think they are what the more you invest in yourself, the more you can charge as well. So if you are looking at increasing your own prices, think of how you're going to invest in yourself so that you can command those kind of premium prices.
Yes, yes. That's one thing that, when you say that, okay, I want to increase my brand value and I want to make sure that, I charge more. There are a lot of people they're very hesitant to charge more. Why? Because they have only done that much and they've only seen and exposed themselves to that much to say, okay, that's what I can charge. I can't charge more than that, you know. And the same goes with the rest of your brand. It doesn't have to be only about charging and pricing. It's also your quality. It's also your content. Everything changes when you invest in yourself. So yeah, I hope that answers
We have
your
another
question.
question here from Parul. What would you say are the core skills that we should develop to work towards building a strong personal brand for a service-based business?
Okay. So there are a few, of course. One of the key skills I would say is, of course, self marketing. Marketing is something that you need to, it should be like at the top of everything that you do. Because without marketing, without putting your point across, it'll be very difficult to actually do things, beyond a certain point. The other thing also I would say is creative thinking, because creative thinking, when you start thinking creatively, automatically you get more ideas to build your business, to build your brand, to take it to the next level. You won't think of that one track mind that this is how I have to do. You'll think of possibilities. The more you open up to creativity, the more easy it gets. And you don't have to be a designer or a creative person to do that. Everything is learnable, right? The other skill also, which I would like to, talk about in this case is, of course, leadership skills. Yes, leadership development is something that you cannot let go, right? And you don't need to be having experience in corporate leadership or in previous leadership roles. You don't need to do that. You can build it up.
Okay.
Today, entrepreneurship, today, any kind of, anything that we do today, anything that we actually build today, if you want to help people and impact people, you have to be a good leader. That's the number one thing which I say. And nowadays, when I even talk about it in my community, I say become a leader brand, because it's not just about personal branding, it's also beyond that. And when you actually work on all these things, not only does your business grow, but every area of your life is taken care of. Think about it. Your relationships with people is better. Your mantra to travel, your mantra to live a freedom based lifestyle, your relationship with your family, your personal growth, your self growth, the way you think, your mindset, everything changes when you have these skills in time, because you know your marketing, you know your content, you're a good communicator, you lead well, and you also are you build a legacy that people will never forget. Because that message that you want, that mission, it has to be stronger and bigger than your fears. And for that, you need to have these skills for that. You need to grow it. You need to be okay to do things out of your comfort zone. So yeah, those are the core skills.
So, Dia, actually, Parul, Dia has given you a very, a short answer to a very, very, larger question. What I would
Yeah.
recommend is those of you who are interested in learning more about this, she's doing a free training pretty soon. Go check out her website. You can register for the training. It's a long session in which she'll be covering exactly what are the skills, what are the various aspects of building a brand. So go check out the website. I'm flashing that on the screen. You can register for the training. And Dia, what all do you cover in this?
So basically I cover three secrets to building a personal brand. One of the key secrets, I mean, of course, I will not explain the secrets because there's no point in attending the webinar. But the three secrets to build your brand and take it to the next level, so that not only your business is growing, but also your lifestyle changes, with that. So I'm working with an entire thing where, I'm connecting the context with your lifestyle, a change in your lifestyle overall, right? And in this also, with the three secrets, I also give you a special quiz, which is called the brand growth score. Okay, which I will tell you at the end where you stand currently with your brand. So it's like a 150 score points kind of a thing that I have, and it's something that plugs in with understanding where you currently are and where you need to be. And of course, at the end, I also tell you how I can help you further in my community. I have the Design Your Presence community. That's where I have all my paid community members, premium members who come there and they learn from me at different levels. So we have online courses and, one-on-one coaching and everything happening at the higher levels. Yeah. So that's
All
how I
right.
work.
Thank you so much, Dia, for sharing that. So you had mentioned earlier about consistency, that you can't just think of creating a brand in a day, right?
Yeah.
So can you talk a little bit about how do you maintain this consistency?
Yeah. So there's this notion on consistency which people get very wrong. Okay. They think that they have to be 100% battery charged for 7 days a week. Okay. They think that, I have to work at the speed, I have to work at the level of 100 every single day to be consistent. Consistency can also be taking a break on Tuesday, taking a break on Thursday, working Monday, Wednesday, Friday. It's really how you put your work into compartments, into hours of time where you feel that, okay, I can work at this level, right? Consistency is not about doing something every single day. Yes, of course, you're going to work towards your brand, you work towards your business in your different ways. Today, you'll do 1 hour of work. Tomorrow, you'll do 15 minutes of work. Day after, you'll do 20 minutes of work, but you're still staying consistent. And this is what I tell everybody, even in my my email list and all that. I keep telling them that it's not, consistency is a very wrong notion that people have about that I have to work 9 to 5 on my brand without fail, going at the speed of light and thinking that that's going to give me some results. In fact, that's going to burn you out, right? So we have to work in a way wherein we know that this is something that I'm going to do for the rest of my life. Okay. It's not going to be something that is not sustainable. Sustainability is one of the key things in branding, because you see, building a website, building a logo is a matter of few days, few hours these days. But building something that who you want to truly want to be, like, you want to be an inspiration to your kids, you want to be an inspiration to the younger generation. Is it going to happen in just 10 days? Is it going to happen in just 30 days? No. You might think that, okay, today I'm here and then 30 days from now you'll be somewhere else, right? Because you worked on your brand, but then you have to continue. It's like going to a gym and working out and losing your weight, losing those 10 kilos. How do you do it? You don't do just in 30 days I'm going to just do this and then after that I'm going to quit the gym. It's the same thing with this. So consistency is not about a full recharged or charged battery of 100%. You can be at 10%, still doing whatever you can do, but showing up every day in whatever form. In whatever form. You could be unwell and you can't say, okay, I can't do today. No problem. But come back tomorrow. That's the idea of it. That is consistency, according to me, without
Small,
burning yourself out.
small steps, but just
Yes.
sticking to it,
Yes,
right?
absolutely. Small steps, simple steps. You don't have to take any big leap. Of course, it's a matter of working sustainably and keeping it going instead of just saying that today I did so much work, last 5 days are done, I'm burnt out, I can't do this anymore.
True,
And
true,
reaching that 0% battery where you can't recharge yourself anymore. It's not possible. Yeah.
true, true. So, here's a question: how do you know if your brand strategy is working?
See, you have to. It's a good question, but you have to see how. So basically, when you talk about brand strategy and how it's working, it's also a time game, right? So you can't say that, okay, I'm going to try this for 1 week and see how it goes. You have to at least try it for, I would say, roughly 60 to 90 days. You have to give that gap to, I mean, that time to actually see whether your strategy is working. So say, for example, you want to go on Instagram and you want to put stuff online. One post, two posts, once in 10 days is not going to work out. You have to at least, be okay to stay consistent with doing something every day to work on that strategy to see whether it's actually working. Try a few times. Only then you're going to see whether it's working or not working. And of course, I say this to everybody, one size does not fit all,
True.
right? Today, your strategy could be the greatest strategy ever. But then if you're going to give this to somebody else to do, do it in their business, probably it won't work. So we have to be versatile. So I would just say, I think this is Jana Traders. Yeah.
Yes.
I would say that, give it like a 60 to 90-day window, see if it's working. If it's giving you a certain result, okay, if it's giving you that kind of, that ROAS or that ROI in terms of, monthly ROI that you want to see, then it's definitely working. If not, change the strategy. That's, do something else or do something different.
All right. Shivani is asking a question: do we need to hire someone for branding?
No, you can do it yourself. These days, everything can be done yourself. Of course, you want to hire somebody for your website, for your logo, that's okay. But your personal branding, nobody can do it for you. You have to do it yourself. Your personal brand is something that, a coach can help you, a strategizer can help you, a strategist can help you in terms of, how you need to go take things forward, right? But you can't outsource your personal brand. You can't outsource, this, you can outsource things like content. You can say, okay, this is what I want my marketing to be done, Facebook ads. You want your website to be outsourced, great. You want your logo to be outsourced, great. But when it comes to you, your voice, nobody can take that away from you. And you cannot outsource your voice. Like if you wanted to say it in a certain way in a video, you can't tell somebody to do it for you. You have to do it yourself. That's the thing. Yeah. That's why consistency is so important and sustainability is so important in branding.
So, so I have a add-on question to this. Uh, when you know that you have to do it yourself, what tips do you have for people who need to manage so much?
Hmm.
Any tips on maintaining this consistency, being a single person managing everything?
Yeah. So one of the key tips is, of course, start small. Do small things. If you like, I would say, like, small steps forward would really make a huge difference. Okay. Don't look at, I mean, of course, look at the bigger picture eventually. But when you're starting out, it's always good to take small, consistent steps forward. Even if it means that you're only taking 10 minutes, 15 minutes a day out of your time to do it, do it. Just do it. It's fine. And sometimes there will be days where you cannot do it. It's okay. Manage your time better. There are days you don't have to really work on it. You can do alternate days of working on your business or whatever. You can chalk out time in certain way where you say, okay, 1 hour on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm going to work on my brand. I'm going to work on my business, and I'm going to do whatever it takes. Some people are working only on the weekends because they're working a 9 to 5 job. So you can do it that way as well. It's just how you manage your time. That's all. There's nothing else I would say in terms of this, because I know everybody's lifestyle is different. Some people have kids, some people are newly married, some people are, solopreneurs, some people don't have teams, they don't have the funds to run teams.
True,
No,
true.
I understand all that. So see your situation, just block out, but don't be too hard on yourself and say, I have to, because somebody told me to be consistent 5 days a week, I should do that. You can do 3 days a week, you can do 2 days a week, but as long as you're staying consistent, that's what matters.
Yeah. Yeah, like not disappearing for long periods of time and then expecting to.
Exactly. Yeah. And saying that, this didn't work out. I tried for 2 weeks. I know a lot of people, a lot of entrepreneurs quit. At least I've seen a research where almost 90% entrepreneurs quit because of this. That, I tried it for 2 weeks or 3 weeks and then it failed. It didn't happen. Are you tried only for 2 to 3 weeks. Try for 3 months. Try for 6 months, and then you talk. That's the idea of it. Yeah.
True, true. So, there are any tips on how do you build customer loyalty through branding, through your brand?
One of the key things I would say, the core of customer loyalty is nurturing.
Okay.
Okay, nurturing your customers, meaning not going on telling them that buy this, buy this, buy this, but actually nurturing them, because they are people in the end who have come to you to solve a problem, right, and to come up with a solution. So your main core, you should actually lead from your heart when you're working with customers, because it's not only about collecting testimonials, reviews. It's not only about like giving them like the the higher goals and telling them, I will make you achieve all this. Yes, all that is part of the game, part of the plan. But in the end, it's what you nurture, it's what you tell them, it's how you put it across to them. It doesn't have to be only emails. It can also be when you talk to them on a one-on-one level. You are treating them like, because they have done this major thing of helping you grow your business. They've come to you for a reason, right? And they've come to you because they trust you. So I would just say that, keep nurturing, keep moving forward, because without nurturing, you cannot move forward. I mean, it's going to be very difficult to actually get customer loyalty happening. Yeah.
Great. So, talking about platforms, do you have any suggestions on what are your favorite platforms for nurturing? Any work for you?
Platforms, meaning, and you meaning social media?
Yeah, like you mentioned emails, you mentioned
Yeah.
that calls.
So I enjoy email marketing because I enjoy writing. That's one
Okay.
of the things which I really like. I mean, of course, I also like Instagram because Instagram is where I can, share my stories and I can, connect with people on a deeper level. So I do that with my posts. I do that with stories. Of course, in my community itself, I do a lot of nurturing. Like I, connect with them every week. So that also is a great way to nurture. I also nurture through, through constant follow-ups, like, just going on, checking on them, checking on, people like, okay, are they okay? Are things going on? And hold them accountable. Because see, once they join your program or join your course, it's not about micromanaging people. It's about caring for those people who have joined your course, who have joined, your coaching program or whatever the cases that they have done, in case of product as well, right? So I feel those are few ways to nurture. Those have worked really well for me. I don't really look at Facebook because Facebook I feel is more like family for me. So
Okay.
I don't look at Facebook much. I look at Facebook only for ads, but that's just advertising.
Okay.
What else? What else? What else? Yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. I don't look at anything else to really help. But yeah, of course, meeting the community every week, connecting with them on a more deeper level, setting their goals every Mondays, sharing their wins every Friday. That's something that's a way of nurturing which I do in my community, and it works really beautifully.
Great, some great ideas there. Thank you so much,
Yeah.
dear, for sharing those. So, Jana Traders is asking, how do you build a brand? Let me answer that for you. Please join Dia's live session that she is doing, where she's going to actually be guiding you on this. It's building a brand is a very there's no shortcut to it. There are a lot of aspects that go into it. So please check out. This is the link to her website. You can register for her training and you can learn exactly how do you build a brand. And please let us know if you have any other questions. You can put them in the chat. I can have Dia, I'll put them up to Dia. Then I'm just going through the chat to ensure that I haven't missed anything.
Hmm.
uh, are you also able to see the chat, Dia, on your end?
Yeah. I'm just reading. I think there's somebody from Resolving Mind. Please provide best platform idea for international selling. International selling for products or it's for service? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I should know whether it's a product or service. I will be able to answer that better.
uh, uh,
Have a,
it's a bag brand, so products.
oh, okay. 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 Yeah. I'm reading that now. Yes.
All right, so
Okay.
anything you want to
Go
want to
ahead,
know?
Shreya. I mean, if you have the
So
answer. Yes.
I've actually done 2 videos on this on marketplaces that you can sell your products online. Why don't you go take a look at those videos? Just search for top marketplaces to sell your products, and you'll be able to. There are 2 videos that you can go check it out. So they're in all about like 15 odd marketplaces that you can go explore. Dia, anything you want to add to that?
No, there's really, I mean, because see, one of the, I mean, platforms, so there are many. I mean, there's Instagram, then you need to have an e-commerce website, I feel also. You should have a, personal website where you can actually show and it will be like the home for your products, which I'm sure you already know. So these are the couple of things. I've seen a lot of people who even use, of course, Facebook, they use because that, the whole janta is there. But I'm also thinking of, even YouTube because people use YouTube to show product reviews, to show how does a bag work, what they can do. So you can even do that. You can even do through video marketing where you can have fashion videos, you can hire models. Like I've done that in Arvind. I used to help brands do that. We used to hire models and get them to shoot their catalogs and everything so that it's shown in the best way possible. So you can do something like that as well, where you can have like a catalog shoot, you can have like a marketing shoot, and you can go and put it up where your brand value also is raised. You have like an entire team of marketing experts, like a stylist or somebody who can actually help you in this journey. So yeah, that's my 2 cents on that as well. Yes.
Great. Thank you so much for adding that. Thank you so much, Dia. I think I haven't realized how time has passed.
Yeah.
And
Oh my God, that's been quite a long
yeah.
session.
Yeah. So yeah, I think we've answered all the questions. So with that, Dia, really grateful to you for sharing all of your knowledge. It's been
Always.
extremely insightful. And those of you who are catching up on the recording, you can reach out to Dia. That's her website. You can connect with her. You can figure out how you can work with her as well. And if you have any questions about branding, you can contact her directly. All right. So thanks a lot, Dia.
Thank you. Thank you means a lot. It's an honor. to share whatever I know on personal branding. And of course, I'm more than happy to guide and to, help people in this topic because it really is close to my heart in many ways. So thank you, Shreya, for having me on board, and thank you for this lovely conversation. I think even I learned a lot in the conversation, and there were so many things that I've said that I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, actually, this makes sense. So thank you so much for asking me those questions. And yes, I'm really happy to guide and serve people when it comes to this topic.
Great. So please subscribe to Dia's channel. It's at Dia Asrani. And
Yes,
if you're here on my channel, you can subscribe to my channel as well. We'll be doing a lot of these live sessions where I'll be inviting various guests that you can learn from directly. So with that, we are going to take your leave. Thank you so much for being here. Have a great, great evening. Bye.
thank you. Bye.